I'll repeat this as many times as I have to. When you find an incredible secular growth story, you stick with it. There are some themes that can produce truly spectacular multi-year gains as long as you don't get shaken out when the stocks in question run into a little turbulence. Take cybersecurity, one of the most powerful trends out there. Why? Because within a couple of years, cybercrime is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar business. Every second, there's more and more data that companies need to protect, and they simply aren't spending enough to do it. They don't want to. It hurts their bottom line. They think. Don't take my word for this. So let's check in with Robert Herjavec. He is the cybersecurity expert, truly inspirational entrepreneur behind the Herjavec Group, the largest privately held player in the space. You recognize perhaps as from Shark Tank as one of the original sharks. Mr. Herjavec, welcome back to Mad Money. Robert, great to see you. All right, Robert, I am convinced the more that these trade talks go on, that what this is really about is cybersecurity, not markets, because those come and go. But the fact is that when we take some of their products in, their products find out more about us than they should. Is there truth to the idea that the Chinese, including the Chinese military, are behind a lot of the cyber terrorism that they're doing?
My personal opinion is yes, but the U.S. intelligence agency has also warned us not to use these devices. You know, it's the old adage, why are these people getting these products out there? It's why do you rob banks? That's where the money is. Why does everybody want to hack the United States? Because this is the greatest country in the world for IP, for intelligence, and all that kind of stuff.
But here's what's confusing me. There are outfits like Ericsson and Nokia. They compete with this Huawei. They compete with Huawei. Right. People would rather have Huawei. It's cheaper. A lot of people think it's better. But now our government's telling you and basically pressuring people, we don't want you to use it because our government believes that it really is embedded intelligence. Is there any truth to that? You've probably been called in to be asked. What do you tell your clients?
I tell my clients to be very careful. I mean, the European Union just warned about using those products. There's a lot of warnings from different governments to use it. But it amazes me the large corporations and governments still use it. You cannot beat the attraction of low prices.
Oh, my God. So you would advise me, if I were about to commit a major amount of money to telco equipment, that I should not use them?
I would not use them. But I'm a cybersecurity guy, so that's
why I care about what you think more than I care about what some salesperson thinks.
Yeah, but a lot of these companies are trying to build huge infrastructures, and if they can get it for a few pennies lower, they're putting safety as a secondary.
Are they being penny wise and pound foolish?
Yes, they're definitely being penny wise and pound foolish. Wow. But I'm a cybersecurity guy, so I always think you have to build everything with protection in mind, because saving a little bit of money today and not having the right protection is going to hurt your brand, is going to hurt customer data. Look what's happened with Facebook and Google in Europe recently.
If they had brought you in, if Facebook had brought you in and Google had brought you in, would you not have been told them what the authorities are going to be angry about? You know that side too, right?
What I would have said to them is you cannot underestimate the backlash of using consumer privacy. The problem is people think consumers don't care. I'm not sure consumers really care, but governments will care. And when you've got the government after you, it's going to hurt you long term.
Yeah, that's true, because it turns out that the people are still using Facebook, but the governments have the ability to put you out of business.
Right. Consumers want the government to protect us. Right. I think this is one area, Jim, where the government has to protect us because we're lazy.
Right.
We're lazy as consumers. We don't want to change our passwords. We don't want to do that stuff, but we want to rail from the rooftops, and we want the government to step in, and they're going to.
I am so good you mentioned passwords and what the government's job should do. I read this article in Reuters. Robert, boss dies with password to unlock 137 million in cryptocurrencies. No one knows how to get it because he died with the password. What do we do here?
I was just in Canada this morning, and we were talking about this. This happened in Vancouver. But here's the beauty of cryptocurrency. Okay. It's built on blockchain. It can't be hacked. That's the beauty of it, right?
Okay, I like that. I don't want to be hacked.
Completely
North Korean, no. North Korea.
Here's the downside. Guy dies with the passwords. How do we get at it?
Well, can you crack that?
Well, that is the nature of blockchain. But it cannot be hacked. So I don't know how this was built, so I can't comment on this specific environment. But that is the promise of cryptocurrency. It can't be hacked. But, Jim, don't you think when we're creating money or virtual systems that in theory cannot be hacked, that this could be dangerous?
Yes.
Don't we need a way to access some of these systems? Even my fire department has a key to the elevator in my building in case of an emergency. This is an emergency. I think there's $200 million of consumer money out there that people don't know if they're going to get back.
At the same time, I do read articles about crypto. There is stealing. I mean, people are getting, they're mining other people's crypto, right?
Well, we publish an annual report on what's going on in the world.
Yes,
and this is one of the things in our report that the basis of one of the reasons hacking is so big right now is because of the rise of cryptocurrency. You know, before cryptocurrency, if I hacked you and I want you to give me money, I'd have to meet you somewhere in a dark alley, in a coffee shop. Cryptocurrency, completely anonymous. You can send me lots of money, and I never know where it came from.
All right. Now, when are we going to be in a situation where our eyes don't glaze over when we hear that someone hacked our stuff? Where literally it's like we're not protected, where it's like we're out a lot of money.
You're desensitized and you already don't care as a consumer. But you know what? If you're an enterprise and you're a big corporation listening to this, you better care, because the consumers may not care. We may be desensitized, but if I get hacked from one retailer, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to another retailer.
That's absolutely true.
And so the onus is on the enterprises, on the government to take care of us.
Okay, now let's say I am convinced with the Internet of Things that someone is going to hack a major double-decker tractor trailer with no driver and run it into me. I am convinced that's going to happen. Can we make those hack-proof?
Very difficult. And you're assuming that that kind of attack hasn't happened yet. So there was an attack in December on the LA Times. Didn't get a huge amount of publicity, but it was significant because they hacked their back-end systems for payroll, came in electronically, and affected the printing presses. So the LA Times stopped printing for 2 days, I believe, or 1 day. On the surface, not a massive attack. But what's significant is they went through an electronic back-end system.
Total Internet of
payroll,
Things.
Internet of Things. And because the presses are connected with the Internet of Things, they stop mechanical systems. So when you go through an electronic world into a mechanical world, you've crossed over. So what are mechanical systems? Pipelines, all kinds of hospital systems, everything in the world. The world is becoming so interconnected, and all of those access points can be hacked. If you're a big corporation, you've got to listen to this. You got to take care of it.
Wow, I worry about this. Is this big? We know it's big.
I worry about it too, Jim. But it's, you know, it's good for our business. I don't mean to sound like but that's one of the reasons you're seeing so much growth in the internet stocks and the cybersecurity stocks.
Absolutely, and they act great constantly. That's Robert Herjavec. He is the cybersecurity expert that you want to learn from. He's an entrepreneur. Of course, he's a shark. I always get scared when I listen to him, but then again, he's got some ideas about how to make it stop. Stick with Cramer. Thank you, Robert. Thank you.